Look at you guys. Look at that beauty. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, that music. I wanted to dance for Brandy. But guys, I am so excited to bring Brandy. Which song do you like, Brandy?
Cat just I like the let's play cat.
Have a powerful sister here in the house, and she is about to begin to share with us. So I have just reduced the volume just so that we start. We have set the mood. Jehovah, thank you for being in the house with us. I see your beautiful son. So guys, you are always here. Even Brandy is always here. And today, Brandy has managed to come to share. And it is very, very special to her because she is starting her mission. Because she knows she's on a mission. And she's going to put all the fear aside. She's going to put all the negativity from people aside. And I want our guest to introduce herself. She will tell us who she is, where she is, her babies, anything she wants us to know about her. Go ahead, Brandy.
My name is Brandy. So as of January 2024, I am NED, which means no evidence of disease. So I am excited to announce that today. But I am a 42-year-old single mom of 5. My oldest is behind me, and that was my youngest that was dancing with me. So my kids range from the age of 6 all the way up until about to be 24. So it was, I work hard. I'm also a bedroom candy consultant. So tonight I'm having my very first dungeon party with my bedroom candy business partner who came all the way from Buffalo, New York for tonight. And we're just super excited. I also work in my first main employment is with Douglas J. Aveda. I work in the enrollments and admissions, so I help people get enrolled in school. So I stay pretty busy.
Wow, it's so nice meeting your family and your friend right here virtually, but just knowing that they're giving you support and all the events that you have planned. I wish you well, and we are here to cheer you on and just there she is. Just know that your family has grown virtually. And that's what I'm about. I just love that I know Brandy is my family because she understands the work. She understands what it is. There are some people who've not gone through it physically, but they understand it because friends have gone through it. Your friend right there understands the work. Not like you, but she does. Loved ones who've been with us, they understand, and that becomes our family. Now Brandy, tell us about this journey. Tell us how it started. What were your symptoms? You're in the US. I know that people outside of the US, Africa, Jamaica, whatever, they are going to hear now a different perspective. Introduce us to this journey.
Back in 2020. So it was about September of 2020. I was on my way home from work and I had some pain in my right breast. When I got home, I took off my bra because I thought maybe my bra was constricting or something. And I noticed that my right side was bleeding. So I called my gynecologist, and he's been my gynecologist forever, so we have a really close relationship. I called him like, yo, something's wrong. And he was like, come on in. So I went in. I had a chest ultrasound, breast ultrasound, and a breast mammogram. At that time, they weren't too concerned. They thought it was a benign tumor. I ended up going to see a breast care specialist and having another breast ultrasound and mammogram, but the breast ultrasound also included a biopsy. And then they were convinced at that time that it was a benign tumor and that I just needed a lumpectomy. So I had the lumpectomy in December of 2020. This is when COVID was still kind of a thing. So it was kind of scary. I was, it was different. I didn't know what to expect. But then when I woke up, a couple of days later, I got a call that I needed to come in and meet with the hospital's management team. And apparently, during my surgery, they lost the tumor and it never made it to pathology. So it was really frustrating for me, but I really didn't know what to say or what to do. I didn't really know much. So I just kind of was angry and kind of bottled it up. So fast forward, in 2021, was it 2021? Where's Melina? Yes. Was it 2021 or 2022? 2022, yes. So in 2022, sorry, I get my years mixed up, I noticed that my left breast was starting to become deformed. In the beginning, it wasn't as noticeable, but it was kind of dented in. So I was still frustrated over what had happened with the lumpectomy, so I tried to ignore it. I shouldn't have did that, but I did. I didn't want to get it checked out. And the lady that is here, my business partner /AP/love, Shantae, kept telling me I needed to go get it checked out. Well, in May of 2020, my mom found a lump in her breast, and she went in to be checked, and my daughter went with her, and we found out my mom had breast cancer. So because of my mom's age and other underlying health conditions, we opted for her to have a double mastectomy, and she decided to remain flat. So that was in July of 2022, and we were getting ready for our Bedroom Candy convention, and Shantae was like, okay, you checked out mom, maybe you should go, really get that checked out. She was really trying to be serious with me, like, you need to go get it looked at, because at this time, now instead of it looking a little bit deformed, it was completely dimpled in. You could definitely see a mass protruding out. And so I went, and everything seemed different this time. I called my doctor, the same thing. I called him up, hey, something's wrong. Breast ultrasound, mammogram in his office. But this time when he walked in, it wasn't the same doctor that I normally see, who's always talking about my kids and everything. He had a solemn look on his face. And as he walked closer to me, I could see he had tears in his eyes. And he was like, this is so unprofessional, but I consider you my friend. So can I give you a hug from a friend to a friend? And, I knew at that moment what it was. But he, at that point couldn't say, but he could say what it looked like. So he sent me back to the same breast care specialist. She did all the same exams, and this time she also did an MRI with a biopsy as well. When she walked in the room, it was me and my daughter, my oldest daughter. My daughter was sitting next to me.
Different experience from the US. That is not my experience. You really want to hear that because you've had a lot of breast cancer experience from outside of the US. Now you really want to hear one from within the US and do your comparisons, learn. It's important. Just reminding you. Go ahead.
So this time, the same breast care specialist, when she walked in the last time, she was smiling, upbeat, I could tell seemed okay. But this time, with my daughter sitting next to me, she walked in, and just like my doctor, she was very serious this time. She sat down, she put her hands in my hands, and before speaking, she just looked at me, and then she looked at my daughter, and she said, I'm sorry. you do have breast cancer, but this is a journey we will get through together. And I didn't react. I looked at my daughter and I was more so concerned about her because I could see the immediate breakdown in my baby. So I was more concerned about my daughter, and I knew if I started crying too, that we probably wouldn't have left the hospital. So I just kind of bottled it up and was like, I kind of knew it was, I felt it. I knew that something was wrong. And when my mom was diagnosed, I think I knew that I too was about to get the same diagnosis. And I was more so frustrated because I felt like, well, whatever happened with that tumor then? Because how? So as I go through, they order more tests. I had another MRI, and at this time they found cancer on the right and the left. So at that time I was only going in for the left. They found invasive ductal carcinoma on the left, and then they found invasive carcinoma on the right. I was now at that point a 3-4 on the left, a 1-2 on the right. When they did the last MRI with the biopsy, I was then a stage 4. It had metastasized itself into my my lymph nodes on this side, so I had lymphoma, and I had cervical cancer as well. So it was gonna be a fight. I had my double mastectomy on October 31st on Halloween 2022. And I started chemo in December. Now, I did not choose to remain flat. I did get expanders placed at the time of my double mastectomy for future reconstruction because I had to have chemo and radiation. They weren't able to do immediate. They wanted to wait for treatment. So in December, I started chemo, which was very hard. And my journey was a little different. So I've always been the tough lady. So I think I played too tough in my life. So I made everybody kind of feel like she don't need nobody. So chemo was kind of hard. It was lonely. And then my dad started driving from Detroit to come up here to take me to chemo because I called him crying like a baby. Like, I cannot do that alone no more. It was so sad to see other people with, caregivers, and I was by myself. So I really broke down. And throughout this journey, I had to be a mom. Like, 3 of my children, they're all grown, and one of my daughters, she has her own kids, and she's grown, so they're big babies. They're still my babies, but they're big babies, so they're doing phenomenal things and living their best life. My big baby is leaving. Okay, and then I have 2 younger sons that are still in school. So I have a 6-year-old and a 14-year-old. At that time, 5 and 13. And it was hard because the day I had my double mastectomy, I came home and my son was sent home from school with the flu. And he was brought home to me. So I didn't get a time to be like, let me rest, let me heal. I had to go right back to work. I had to go right back to living life because who's going to pay these bills? And then, I started chemo. I went through chemo, and the very first reaction I had in my mind, I think you kind of get this persona of what you see on TV or what you see in different shows or, whatever you might hear and might know from other people. It's not what you're actually going to go through, and every person's reaction is different. At first, they did not put a port in. They wanted me to try it with going through my veins, which crashed my veins. It was too powerful for my arm, so I needed to have surgery to have a chemo port placed. But I ended up having a chemo headache. They give you, the way my chemo went, I would get 2 different, I can't even think right now, so sorry, of the 2 medicines I had, but I had 2 different chemo medicines that I had to have. And that's kind of overwhelming when you're getting chemo because they are putting on a whole biohazard outfit and walking towards you, and you're like, you're about to put whatever is in my vein and into me that makes you have to wear a biohazard outfit to come towards me. Like, that's scary, you know, because you're realizing that this is poison. This is real toxic poison that they're injecting into your body to beat cancer. So you lose everything. In my mind, I knew I was going to lose my hair, but you're thinking hair. You don't think hair. And everything goes. You don't have, you know, I made jokes like, it's nice for the cool Brazilian wax, like the free one. I don't gotta go nowhere. It's painless. It's a painless Brazilian wax. But I didn't have hair from head to toe. My nails turned black because they were dying. They were being killed off from the cells. My face started to look darker under my eyes and kind of sunken in. You know, you get bloated. I gained a lot of weight. And it wasn't because I was overeating, because I was sick all the time. It was because of the steroids that are in the chemo itself. So I'm blowing up like I'm becoming Bob the Builder. And on top of that, there's pain. So they give me a medicine at the end of treatment that doesn't release into the body until the next day. Literally 24 hours after I finish chemo, they give you a medication that is going to try to bring your white blood cell count back up.
Where did they put it? Is it here or here?
Yeah, I got mine right here on my
Oh, you got
arm.
yours here. I got mine here. Yeah.
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 So what you don't know is with that medicine, when it starts pulling from its different places, it's pulling those white blood cells from the actual bone marrow. That is painful. And I did not know that I was going to be in that much pain. Like, you can't see, think, hear it. I was crying. So my mom took me to the clinic here and this was after my first treatment, and I remember it being a little busy in the treatment center, and the nurse, yeah, they had nurses on that floor, the nurse looking at me and telling me, you're gonna be in pain, it comes with chemo, we have more important patients here, you shouldn't be bothering us with this, basically. And she was irritated and was so rude. I remember crying and begging my mom just to take me home. Like, forget it. I don't want to be here. They're rude here. This is kind of like the treatment I received at this place all the time. My oncologist was very abrupt. He wouldn't explain things to me. And I felt like because of what happened originally, they were trying to keep a little secret, a little bit or something, because they never would discuss what was going on. I kept being told that there was a team that was meeting before each stage. Like, before I even started anything, it was a team that planned out everything, because my case, they said, was complicated. I don't know why. I still to this day don't know why, because they don't give me any answers.
And is it the first place where you say the tumor got lost? The one on the right? They could not find it.
Never found it. So then I started chemo, and I was supposed to start radiation. The chemo place never contacted downstairs from them to the radiation oncology to get my radiation going. Just so happens I have a friend that works in the radiation department, and she kept calling me like, I still don't see your name. I still don't see you coming. When are you coming? And I was like, I don't know. Y'all supposed to send me a referral. So fast forward, she ends up messaging them upstairs like, where's her paperwork? And it was a gang of us that they just forgot about. So they ended up getting us in. I started radiation. I had to have 28 rounds of radiation. Now, radiation was different. The clinic was so nice. The people, the technicians, I love them. They became my friends. Radiation was rough. You get that burn. I was burned on my neck. I had burn marks on my arm, my underarm. I was pretty black for a while, and then, it peels off and starts to heal. So I healed from that. Then I had to have a full hysterectomy for the cervical cancer. But I started with tamoxifen, that was anybody that's had it, I feel like most people say the same thing. It was like, wow, this is horrible. I was sick. I was miserable. I felt depressed. I was down. I couldn't function. And then with
that was unnatural for me, because they now had just to take me off of it by force. Because I was like, okay, wait a minute, let me continue checking if I wait, and I was pain all over. It just got to They just had to cut it off completely and replace it. Those first lines, tamoxifen and anastrozole for postmenopausal, they're really harsh.
That's what I'm on now. So hopefully we can switch it, because I'm at this point now where I'm like, because your body just aches everywhere, you know. You get hot flashes even more so. Like I was already pushed into menopause, but now it's more intense, because it brings them on. So I'm like, I have to wear a little neck thing, you know. I've met some phenomenal people during the journey, and there's definitely organizations that help you when you're going through the journey, when you're going through treatment. But once you get to immunotherapy, it's a done deal. Like there's nobody else to help you. And cancer has literally taken all my finances. I couldn't work months. And then, like I said, I was later to start reconstruction. Well, reconstruction for me meant I started on December 6th, but I had massive blood loss. I coded twice on the table. They told me I'm a miracle. I should not be here right now. They told me they didn't think they could bring me back because I coded on the table twice. Then I had to have another emergency surgery after that because the operation failed on my left where I was radiated. So they had to take skin from my back to move it around for the flap. Now I'm doing good. They're a little off-centered. It's okay. Phase 2 is coming, but I'm getting myself a break. Because it's like I was off of work because of reconstruction, 8.5 weeks. That's no pay. That's trying to figure out how to feed me and my children. So it's been rough. And, the only thing I can say is that God has brought me through. He's kept me going through. And I had an amazing Bedroom Candy family who kept lifting me up, even when I felt like I couldn't move anymore and I just was ready to give up. Watching my hair grow back now, watching my eyebrows start to grow back in and feel life, you just hang on to that little bit of life. This is what I fought for. I fought to make sure I was here for my kids and they didn't have to say mommy's gone, and I continue to fight for those who I know. And I do have survivor's remorse because my sister died of cancer before I even was diagnosed. So sometimes it's like, why me and not her, so it's been hard. It's been trying because I had a very messed up medical team, but I have a phenomenal reconstruction team. I have a phenomenal new oncologist now. I'm switched over and I really like them now. They answer my questions. They treat me like I'm a human. So it's been rough, and I do suffer from it. Because of chemo and radiation, I now have osteoporosis in my spine. My lower back is completely bone on bone, no cartilage. I have osteoarthritis in my neck. I'm showing signs of lymphedema already in my left arm. So these are lifetime changes that cancer not only brings. And when you make the decision to fight and whatever treatment you do, there are consequences with that treatment sometimes, because it's a poison. It's a literal poison. And what made me kind of do it is I'm Bedroom Candy consultant, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy Burris. Okay. So I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta and I watched Nene Leak's husband, Greg, fight cancer, and he made the decision that he did not want to go the chemo route and he wanted to go holistic. And at that time, a lot of people were telling me holistic, and so I love that he was brave enough to try something because he did not want to go chemo, because chemo is harsh and you got to choose what's best for you.